Okay, this is GamerBlave, and we're back with True Remembrance. And if you missed the last video, then, well, the main thing that happened in the last video was that Irina showed up in the circumstances around her coming to be in the company of Black Iris-in-Law, where that she pretty much snuck into the property, and she was looking for Black Iris and wanted his help. And to make a long story short, they are going to help him out. If Black Iris did not want to help originally, and that's debatable. I'm kind of thinking that he did, but he was indicating that he did not. But Law did want him to help, so he is going to do it anyway, or at least he claims to be. And her name is Irina, but she goes by Ilya, I-L-Y-A, and she claims to be suffering from the dolor as well. Now, a couple of questions that I had about the dolor, without going into them too much. If you had any question, or if you want to hear more about that, you can watch that video, and I will put a link to that. I'll pop that up here, so you can go to that point in the video if you want to hear more about me going on about that. Because I was, and certainly there's not. I'm not going into a solution because I don't know, but I did have some questions, and I'm going to try as much as I can to, digress from that, because I did spend an awful lot of the last video talking about that, and no one's complained about that, but I don't want to bog it down with that. But one thing I did not talk about that is kind of related to that, somewhat related to that, is while it is kind of related to there being them not suffering from the dolor in a substantial capacity, because if the dolor is going to make you kill yourself, right, because that's the problem that has plagued the world, is the most substantial cause of death right now is death by suicide that is brought on by the dolor. So if these two people aren't suffering from it to the extent that would be on the verge of suicide, and the waiting list to get into this place to be treated is so long, why wouldn't there be people who are in more dire need of the assistance? So one suggestion that was in the comments was potentially these people, or potentially some of these people, are very well off, very well connected. Maybe the young have priority. Who knows? And maybe we're going to find out about that. Those are some questions that we do want to be answered going forward. So, maybe not this video. Who knows when we're going to find that kind of stuff out? But those are some things that are on my mind. But in addition to that, hopefully we're going to get to know Ilya a little bit more, because we don't really know anything about her story. And it seems like since they're bringing more characters in, I think they're kind of protracting us getting to know Law. I think the way that we're getting to know Law is kind of through the interaction with these other characters. Like, for instance, Marcello, who came in the previous video, who came and went in that one. We got to know a little bit about Law and her good nature through that interaction. But anyway, I'm kind of spending a lot of time talking about that, not actually getting into it here. So let's go on. So we're talking about she, that is referring to Irina / Ilya there. So we read this in the last in the last one there. She's in Black Iris's hands now, thank God. Lucky her, unlucky him. I'll make it up to him someday. At Aroma with Black Iris and one other. Rook's at his counter, as usual. Files lined up in front of him. He's labeling them carefully. Busy? Nah, just keeping the place decent. Welcome. The hell, man? Yet another broad? Hey, little you gonna stand for this? He's two-timing you, girl. Now, see here, a real gentleman like me wouldn't do nothing like that. So Rooks noticed Ilya. Look at his face, half envious, half stunned, and all too complicated. This is Irina. I took her in as my guest today. Yet another side job. Man, what are you going to do if Dexter ever finds out? I'll burn that bridge when I get there, or something like that. On that note, I've got a favor to ask of you. Aha, so hell has frozen over. You asking a favor? You gotta be kidding me. Rook sweeps up his files. His hands move fast. So fast, it's all a blur. For a moment, I think about asking what's in those files. But it's too late. They're all racked in no time. I want you to supply her with a pneumonicide protocol permit. A trespasser? This little mademoiselle here? Rock, you looked a real lively one this time round, eh, Black Iris? Rook whistles, then he leers at Ilya. Of course, Ilya smiles back. Kind of more like squirms. A permit, though. What a pain, man. I seem to remember some strings I could pull, but... And I seem to remember that you owe me. Right. Quid pro quo. This'll even us up, eh? Rook just laughs, like it's all a joke to him. Is it gonna be that easy? How will he pull it off? I ask him this, but he just turns to me and says, best that a young lady like you not know. You get what I'm saying? So it'll be dangerous. Great. Everything's my fault. Now even Rook's mixed up in this. Law, the decision to take Irina on as my guest was mine. Mine and mine alone. Do you understand? You have nothing to do with this. Black Iris can see right through me sometimes. That bothers me. See, I'm an open book to him. Not happy about that. Not all the time. Wait, so she evidently, likes to be an open book sometimes, but not all the time. So she likes to have him know what she's thinking sometimes, I guess. I guess that would be helpful when someone is supposed to be, because presumably she would come here, she would come into this relationship wanting this person to help. And if you actually wanted someone to help you, then I guess that would be healthy to want them to be able to intuit things about you. But, that statement makes perfect sense, but you probably wouldn't want them to know everything about you. That makes perfect sense. Irina, I know you already know this, but you've been diagnosed with a very mild case of the dolor. Therefore, you will be my guest for a day only. But if you don't have a permit, you won't be allowed to leave, so I'll have something ready by first light tomorrow. So you'll have to stay in town with us until then. Agreed? Yes, of course. Thank you, sir. All right, then let's get started. Can you tell me what happened to you? What caused your psychic corrosion? Ilya listens quietly, and lines of tension begin appearing on her face. Not surprising at all. It's really hard. How do you open yourself up? How do you retell your most painful memories, especially to a total stranger? Aha, that's my cue. Gotta get this done for you, and you don't need me here. Rook nods. He knows what's going on. He stands up, walks to the door. He closes up shop, then leaves. I guess that's my cue too. But what to do? I can't go anywhere. Not without my guide. Not without Black Iris. I'm stuck, I think. Oh, but wait. Ilya's started to talk. I'd like you to erase my memories of my family, sir. Wait a second. She can't be serious, right? Wrong. That look on her face. It's obvious. She's serious. Dead serious. Family? Pops immediately comes to mind. He was so good to me. Your memories of your family. You say that they're at the root of your psychic erosion. Tell me more, if you please. Yes, sir. In my family... Black Iris makes a motion with his hands, cuts Ilya off. He doesn't need any more than this. He knows what his target is. He doesn't have to know how his patient has been affected. He doesn't have to know how Ilya was hurt. That's irrelevant, I can tell. I can read him like a book, but only once in a while. Okay, so now this is interesting. So now before, when we were talking about how he treated, and I'll use the term loosely, treated Marcelo in the previous video. I believe that was the video right before the... Actually, no, I'm sorry. It was the video before this. So 2 videos ago. There was nothing beyond something that would be considered within the realm of normal treatment, or just, an interaction that would be something that would be normal by today's standards. Other than perhaps talking about erasing memories, there wasn't anything out of the ordinary there. So we didn't get any real insight into how mnemonicide activity took place. So it seems like he's actually going to that we're actually going to maybe get a glimpse at that. Perhaps how he goes about his business here, because she's saying, okay, he's got a target now, and he doesn't really need to know why or how, just what it is, what specific memories it is, and it doesn't matter. As she said, that's irrelevant. All that stuff's irrelevant. So, and that the how and the why would definitely be irrelevant. Would definitely be relevant to anyone who would be treating someone with traditional psychiatric techniques. At least I'm assuming. Once again, as I've said in all of the videos, whenever I make statements about this kind of stuff, it is with the blanket caveat that I have no expertise in this field. So, that being said, I'm sorry to be repeating myself on that, but I do want to make it clear, that no one thinks that I am trying to profess any expertise in this field. Okay, let us continue here. But Ilya just keeps talking. Her face is drawn. Her eyes are soft, unfocused. My mother died when I was very young, so my father raised me for most part. We were always destitute, and my father, he... Ilya stops there. She's having a hard time with whatever it is she's trying to say. Her father what? What did he do? I can't imagine. Pops was the only father I had. He was wonderful. I was blessed, wasn't I? Because I can't imagine. My father left home when I was 16. He abandoned me. and never looked back. I haven't been in contact with him since. Oh heavens, I tried to forget about him, tried and tried and tried, but I couldn't. When I closed my eyes, I'm right back, chained by a voice that keeps telling me that I'll never be free of him. Now there's cold steel in her eyes. This is hard for her, even to retell, obviously. How? How can you be chained to someone who's disappeared? Or am I chained to Pops? Is that it? I'm going to be getting married soon, you see, for the first time in my life, ever. I'm going to be happy. I can feel it. But that's just the problem. What do I do when my father comes to mind? I can't escape it. I'm so scared, don't you know? It's going to happen sooner or later, and I'm sure you understand. That just won't do. I just skipped a frame on me there, but it looked like the frame was just Black Iris with 3 dots. Now, that's the first time it's done that in several videos. If you've been watching this whole series, it did that to me. I think it was in the second video. It did that to me like 2 times, I think. So I will, when I'm editing this, I will check that frame, but it doesn't look like we actually missed anything. It looks like they were just some dots there, but I will slow it down and just check it. If there were, then I'll freeze it and check. If not, then we'll just keep going. So I beg you, kind sir, please, please take my memories of my family away. Cure me of my psychic erosion so I can live my life. Ilya bows low. Her hands are clasped together at her lap, clasped so tightly they're going white, as if she's enduring the most exquisite pain. Black Iris is glacial, calm, unperturbed, as if he hasn't been listening, except he has, and I understand the etiology of your psychic corrosion well enough. Thank you. Now, your permit will arrive tomorrow morning, so we'll wait. Until then, our place is yours. Wait a second, there's something we're forgetting here. Oh no, this is bad, real bad. We've only got 1 bed. Black Iris still sleeps on the sofa. I asked him if we should buy another bed once. I was denied. He told me it was a waste of money. See, Pops left me some money, not a lot, but I've saved it. I told Black Iris I wanted to buy a bed with that. He still shook his head. Okay, now this actually answers a question that I raised just at the beginning of this video, very interestingly enough, about people who were well-connected or wealthy. Okay, so that eliminates the wealthy one. She could still be well-connected, kind of down. I mean, you know, the well-connected / wealthy usually goes hand in hand, not always. So she could be well-connected based on just how she generally interacts with people. I'm going to say probably not. Possibly, but probably not. The fact that the waiting list is so long, you know, I'm really not sure. You would think that there would be people even younger than her that would be suffering from it. As you know, we had Mar show up, but he wasn't actually suffering from the dolor, right? So we can rule him out. We can reasonably rule him out, but there might actually be children. But anyway, so we do have the money thing ruled out, at least for her. Okay, so let me go ahead and jot that down. If you've been watching this series, I kind of write things down as they appear significant to me. So, law, not wealthy. Which I do find significant, because that does kind of, at least in her case, and she may be an exception. Now, that being said, That being said, and this should be noted, this should definitely actually be noted, we do know for a fact that she is an exception. Okay? Law is an exception because Law was assigned to a male pneumonicide, which is completely outside of the ordinary. That is something that does not happen. Okay? So Law is unique. So the fact that Law is not wealthy does not necessarily mean that wealthy people are not, by and large, the people who get admitted. I don't know this to be a fact, but it seems like that would be the case. It seems like that would be the case because if he said it would be a waste of money, if it was really rich, if it was very rich people, you would think that, and once again, I could be completely wrong here, just spewing nonsense, but I'm just making assumptions that the bottom line would not be a very big concern. For instance, that a guest would come in, and if there was not another bed, then you could just say that another bed would be a very minuscule purchase. The budget for such a thing would be, the budget for the pneumonicide experience would be substantial, rather, if wealth was the primary factor for someone being admitted into this treatment town. So I'm not saying that this is definitive proof here, but it is a substantial morsel of evidence here. It is a substantial morsel of evidence. The only thing that makes it not pretty definitive is that we do know that Law is an anomaly. So we'll take that for what it is, and we will move on. Should I bring this up now or not? Oh, my head is spinning. I have no idea what to say, so I won't say anything. No need to smother Ilya. Definitely no need to make more trouble for Black Iris. I'll just have to take the bed tonight. I'll just have her take the bed tonight, excuse me. The bell sounds, and Rook walks in. Wow, that was quick. Is everything okay? That's a wrap. There'll be a little something for your lady guest by tomorrow morning, if you know what I mean. That was pretty quick. They may have they may have abridged the conversation there, but Rook definitely has some connections. Oh, well, how nice. Rook really came through, unexpected. Ilya sighs. She looks relieved. Me too. One less thing to worry about. Rook whips up lunch for us. Delicious as usual. Out to 6th Street with full stomachs and idle feet. In other words, grocery shopping. Would you mind horribly if I cook dinner tonight? Ilya suggests softly. She takes the lead, picking out this and that. Black Iris tries to protest, says that as a guide he can't leave his guest doing work, the usual, but Ilya's just not giving up. Oh, but sir, we only have one day together. It'd be poor form indeed if I didn't do at least this much for you, yes? So please, pretty please? Funny, Black Iris isn't going to win this one. So, Ilya starts picking stuff out. She inspects every single ingredient. Only those that pass muster make it into our basket. Wow, she's so serious. Black Iris, total opposite. He usually just buys stuff haphazardly, whether it's good or not. Oh, La, honey, is there anything that Dr. Black Iris really likes? She whispers, Ugh, how am I supposed to answer this? Well, at least he isn't with us. He's waiting outside. It's just us girls. Well, he doesn't dislike anything. No, wait. Don't see him eat sweets much. But things he likes? Not sure about that. I guess we're back to square one then. In that case, La, what would you like to eat? Anything is fine. Maybe not carrots. Elia giggles at this. Odd. Black Iris laughed about this too. Is there something the matter about not eating carrots? Okay, I understand. Then our dinner menu will be... I don't know what that is. Pasta fredda con salsa di pomodoro, oxtail, consomme, and a winter salad. What do you think? Will that work? Work? I've never even heard of these dishes. Right there with you, let alone eating them. Well, I understood salad, but that's about it. Or maybe that's not good enough. Something that doesn't sound appetizing? Uh-oh. Elia's taken my silence for disapproval, so I shake my head no as hard as I can. Elia? Could you, possibly teach me how to cook? Pretty pleased with a cherry on top? Yeah, she's gonna teach you how to cook in one day. That's gonna happen. That is within the realm of something that is, realistic. Elia's eyes widen. Then she laughs, so warm, so sweet. Oh, of course, I'd love to. Why, are you bad at cooking? No clue. Not avoiding it, just, so much I don't know. That bothers me. Have to ask Black Iris whenever I need to do something. That has to change. Sure, he always teaches me expertly until I finally get it, but he'll get tired of me that way soon enough. Oh, sweetie, you'll be fine. I'll teach you everything I know. So let's finish up with these groceries, go home, and get to work, shall we? Yeah, everything she knows she will convey to you in one day, while getting treatment. Yep, this is a solid plan. She touches my shoulder gently, calms me right down, and winks. So tell me, what have you got in terms of ingredients at home? I imagine you have salt and pepper, right? How about breadcrumbs and flour? She just goes down her list, and in her head, it's awesome and frightening. Ground beef, ground pork. Is that sole? Sole? I don't know. Cabbage, onion, tomato, bay leaf, nutmeg. My goodness, she's really in command. Seems that she knows this market like the back of her hand, like a long-term resident. Or a mnemonicide. And now we're done. That was fast. Time to go get Black Iris. We're all done, sir. We're awfully sorry about the wait. Oh, no problem. If you'll give me the receipt, we can get you reimbursed, of course. Oh, no, doctor, I couldn't. You just sit back and let me treat you, please. Elia wins, not even any resistance from Black Iris this time. So instead, he points to my shopping bags. I'll carry those. Yours too, Irina. That's very chivalrous of you, sir. Thank you. She says with a blush and a smile. Then she hands over the bags. I hand over one of my 2 bags as well. And the other one as well, please. That one's the heavier of the 2 anyhow, isn't it? Yes. I swear, you worry about the strangest things sometimes. You don't have to carry a thing. I won't think any less of you. He says with a vague smile of his own. But I wasn't worried about anything. I'm just not used to having a guy carry my things. But now, I'm all tripped up. Why does everything I do backfire again and again? Now Elia's giggling at me. Great. Just great. back at home, after a short break. Now we're making dinner. Ilya and I. My God, she's a genius, at least in the kitchen. Yes, it's true, Black Iris and Rook, they're both good, very good, but totally unrefined compared to Ilya. She washes every dish, every utensil after use. The sink's sparkling clean no matter what we do. See, darling, it may be a bit more work, but oh, it makes cleanup so much easier afterwards. That way, you can relax after you eat, rather than having to bustle about. Ilya shrugs, vaguely, and smiles. Vaguely. Not sure myself. She's juggling an awful lot. Stuff will get dirty anyhow. This cleanup's a zero-sum game, isn't it? What do I know? I felt like I couldn't touch anything at first. I still don't, but Ilya's true to her word. She's been teaching me lots. How to wash vegetables, how to peel an onion, chopping, dicing, mincing. She's pushing me to my limits. Oh, darling, you're not so bad yourself. And here I was thinking that you wouldn't know anything about cooking at all. Why, you were playing a joke on me, I'm going to run out of things to teach you soon. Enough, see? Ilya's in the middle of rolling up ground beef into cabbage for the, once again, don't know how to pronounce that word, so we're just going to skip past it and pretend it didn't happen. And she sounds kind of disappointed. I'm in the middle of peeling onions, crying because of the onions, shaking my head because of what Ilya said. No way. I didn't know how to dice, or to mince, or to wash vegetables, or even that you cry when you peel onions. I didn't know anything. That's sweet of you to say that, dear. But all this stuff is simple, see? We're no different, you and I. It's just that I was around the kitchen a lot as a kid. Her face clouds over. She's thinking about her childhood. She must have had it rough. I don't know what to say. Oh, Ilya. Oh, right. I'm so sorry. Why, I can't be going around moping like this. You must have had it so much worse than me, after all. Well, no, I'm good, really. But that can't be right, can it now? I know. I've heard all about it. The more severe your disease, the longer your stay here. Isn't that so? Oh, honey, you shouldn't hold it in, poor thing, because if you do, you'll end up buried inside yourself, crushed. And it'll be too late. So you have to do something about it sooner rather than later. I wonder. Well, I don't. I think I'm right. See, I really hated having no money. When you're poor, nothing's easy. You're weighed down by everything, and you're not a nice person. Wait, hold on a second. When you're poor, you're weighed down by everything, and you're not a nice person. So, okay, I'm just going to leave that statement alone. I'm not going to go into that. I grew to hate who I was becoming. I couldn't take it anymore. That's why after my father left, I became a working girl. 80 hours, 100 hours a week. I didn't care, whatever it took. Oh, I know. You're probably going to think I'm pretty low for saying this, but I really needed to be rich. Yet again, that vague smile and that vague shrug. I have no idea what to say about that. Should I smile? Should I frown? All of the above? None of the above? But now I'm happy, see? There's a man who says he loves me. But when I think back to when I was poor and alone, I just lose it. And that just won't do, dear. I had to make it all disappear before I got married, and that's why you came here. Illegally? Okay, hang on a second. So, she was poor and alone. Now, I mean, I can empathize with wanting to work hard in the present so as to not have to work hard in perpetuity. And the alone thing, I mean, certainly, you know, but the way that she's phrasing that, could be construed in an interesting manner. But I don't necessarily know that that's what she's saying. I mean, she was sad in her situation, right? Her financial situation was causing her pain. And certainly many people's financial situations cause them pain. Obviously we don't have to dwell on that, but just the way that was written came across very interesting to me. And I actually wish I in retrospect, I wish I dwelled on that page a little bit longer, and I can't go back. Unfortunately. They don't give you a way to go back, because I do wish I had the way that she phrased that. Something about when you're poor, you are miserable, and when you're miserable, you're not very nice. That particular progression can be problematic. You know, that was her particular story. There are certainly people who do not have a lot of money who are the nicest people in the world, you know. But her financial situation made her miserable, and her misery, I guess she was taking it out on other people. So, but anyway, let's go on from there. That's right. What do you think? I'm hopelessly impatient, don't you think? It's horrible, but it's also so mischievous. So I start laughing against my will. And so we go on cooking, laughing all the while. Outside? Not so sure about inside. We're all stuffed. Black Iris most of all. He left nothing on his plate. No idea whether he liked it or not. He's always this way. So I'm forced to ask. Well, actually, I blurt the question out without even thinking. Oh, it was really delicious. I'm quite impressed at how you managed to not use carrots at all. And he smiles. He's teasing me, isn't he? He really is a meanie. I shoot him a glare. Then I rise. Time to prepare some coffee. I got Rook to teach me how to do it his way, so this shouldn't turn out badly, I think. I pour Black Iris a cup. He smiles and accepts. He sips a bit. Then he turns to Ilya, as if he's just remembered something. Irina, there's something I almost forgot to tell you. Yes, sir? She looks up from her cup. Black Iris stares at her for a second, then he turns to me. Then he turns back to her. You two have become fast friends, looks like. So I'm really sorry to say this, but... Irina, when you leave this place tomorrow, your psyche corrosion will be erased. You came here for that purpose, I know. But did you know that everything you've experienced here will also be erased? Okay, this I'm interested to mention something, or not interested to mention something. This brings up an interesting point. He's talked about erasing memories multiple times throughout the whole series, or the whole visual novel so far. And whenever he says he can erase memories, it's always in a temporary capacity. I can erase the memories, but they're going to come back after a period of time. So if these memories, and see, this is what interests me about this whole thing, right? So these memories are not in and of themselves the dolor, right? Because everyone has, memories of, not everyone has, but people have all sorts of traumatic memories currently in the world. Terrible things happen to people every day. I don't want to go into specific examples of that. I'm sure if you're watching this, insert horrible thing. I don't want to make you think of something right now, but if you're not to put too fine a point on it, but if you're watching this and you're actually wanting to engage with the subject matter in any capacity, then you probably are going to at least think about it a little bit. But someone or you yourself have been through something that is unpleasant, to put it mildly. Okay? So people go through this kind of stuff on a daily basis now. What makes this world different, the world in this visual novel different than our world, is that there is some mysterious force in this world. There is a mysterious pandemic-esque thing. Now, I don't know if it's viral. I don't know if it is any biological thing or if it is some supernatural force known as the dolor. And that, in consort with those memories, okay, that in consort with those memories creates psychic erosion, okay? Because there's something in this world that we have in common. Okay, there's something in this visual novel world that we have in common, that's in common with our world, and then there's something that they have that's not in common. There's something that's unique, right? That creates the psychic erosion. That's the dolor. So now what he can do, right, is he can erase the memories, but he can only erase them for a time. So if he erases them for a time, so the dolor, presumably, in order to create psychic erosion, the dolor, or this mysterious force that we don't know a whole lot about right now, the dolor needs the memories and itself in order to create psychic erosion, which initially drives you to the point where you kill yourself. But it needs those bad memories. Now, he can purge those memories, but only for a limited amount of time. And he says sometimes it's months, sometimes it's weeks, sometimes it's years. But if it's going to come back, if those memories are going to come back, by his own admission, it's a limited amount of time and he doesn't know how long it's going to be. If they're going to come back, then presumably these people are then going to fall back into the dolor. And I would imagine their psychic erosion is going to be setting in again. Right? Tell me, what is it that I am saying right now that is not established so far in this novel? What am I saying that is outside of the realm of this? Or do you then, if someone is suffering from the dolor, right, this mysterious external force because like I said, the memories are there, and if the psychic erosion has taken effect, if you because I'm trying to come up with a way to structure my thoughts. Presumably because no one in the world is going to have a blank slate of no bad memories, right? So not everyone in the world, even this fictitious world here, not everyone is suffering from the dolor, right? So maybe if you purge the bad memories, you cure them of the dolor, and when their memories come back, hopefully the dolor does not set in. Maybe that's the assumption. So you banish the dolor and then hope that it does not beset them a second time. That's what I'm going to go with. But I guess maybe they would be susceptible to another bout of it. But we're going to go with hopefully not. So we're just saying that he's going to try to purge, or when he purges the family, he's evidently also going to purge his visit here. Yes, sir. I'm well aware of that. I see. Very well then. Yes, that's true. Doesn't make it any less sad. See, they erase your psychic erosion here. Erase it completely. That means erasing any possible triggers. Have to lock those all away. So the patient's memories of this town must go too. Turns out that the brain instinctively fills in the gap anyhow. So the patient just remembers taking a long trip solo without stopping anywhere. Elio won't remember me. That sucks. So there's no choice. Otherwise, she'll never be free. Well, that's interesting too. It's I hate to keep jumping in like this, but it seems like if you had all these people who, because there are countless people suffering from this, and then so many people going through this treatment, and if you know that the side effect, the outcome of this treatment is that you know that you have filled in the gap with this long trip that you went on by yourself, and that if you know that you got the treatment, that your mind will not be terribly happy about that. I don't know, it seems kind of dangerous. That seems kind of dangerous to me, because you're basically giving everyone's brain who goes through this the same alibi. You're giving everyone the exact same story, I don't know. That seems like a pretty tough pill to swallow right there. That's a pretty tough pill to swallow. Okay, but anyway, let's go on here. Besides, now's not the time for this. I have to make memories with her while I can. She might forget me, but I'll never forget her because I'm still here. Well, what you just said that anyone who gets treatment here is going to forget their time here. So if you're actually here to get treatment, then you're going to forget her too. Okay? By the very premise that you just established, you're going to forget her too. Whoa! What did I just do? Oh! I think I inadvertently found out how to go back and forward on the pages, but I have no idea how I did that. I don't know how I've got to where I am. I moved my hand over to the mouse. I think I clicked the middle mouse button accidentally. I don't know what I've done here. I need to find out how to get back into that at some point. Because evidently you can go back pages now. That's crazy. That's a game changer right there. That is a game changer. Okay. Anyway, but I'll never forget her because I'm still here. Dinner's over, we're cleaning up, and Ilya's talking nonstop. All right, so dinner's over, and I got a pretty reasonable amount of footage here. So I think that is probably a pretty good place to take a break. So what we've got here, Ilya has now been kind of welcomed into the family as a new day guest, and she is going to be getting her treatment presumably tomorrow, and she's also going to be getting her treatment pass so she can get out of Dodge once she's got her treatment. And we've learned that mnemonicides erase, I actually need to write that down, memory of treatment. Because, well, that's pretty significant. That's a new thing that we've learned about the treatment process in this one. So that is actually very interesting. And the fact that the how and the why are irrelevant. I actually need to write that down too. So those are some kind of interesting points there, and you know, a couple of clues there as to laws passed and how the selection process may not be tied to wealth and being well connected. So you know, we're moving along in that direction, and we do want to find out a little bit more about that. I really am kind of interested to find out, you know, why people are selected, as there is a huge waiting list. You know, who does move to the top of that and get put in here, and why was she put with a guy? You know, why was that match made? That's very interesting. So a lot of stuff going on there, but yeah, a lot of questions I have about this treatment process that aren't quite adding up, but yet, you know, all those questions are without seeing it. You know, I haven't seen it in action yet, and you know, those are based largely on, you know, assumptions from someone who hasn't seen it yet. You know, we're going into it. We're going into this blind here, and I guess that makes it more interesting. For one, you know, that it does make it an interesting prospect, because, you know, as we've mentioned, you know, it is taking some things that we have that we all have in common here. You know, that is bad memories, things. I mean, you know, I'm sure that there are some memories that anyone would like to just pop out of their head. You know, if you don't have those, then I envy you, I guess. But and then we're in this world here that does have a couple of other factors that we don't have in this one. So it will be interesting to see how all of these questions that I have posed and have right now get reconciled, and how it all ends up coming together. And I would imagine in the next episode we're actually going to get to see the treatment process on Ilya. So that's going to be the first time we actually get to see the mnemonicide action. I'm just guessing that we're going to get to see it. They might just say, okay, we're going to go into a room, we're going to do this thing, and then Ilya's gone. They might not show it to us yet. They might just kind of tease it. But hopefully they're going to show it to us and give us a little bit of more insight into how that thing works. Because that's really the meat and potatoes here. That's the big kahuna. That's what we want to see. That's the real interesting thing that's going on here. We do have some characters that we're talking about here, but for me, the real interesting thing that's going on here are what we're talking about, the ramifications of how they are dealing with these psychological issues, and how this world is handling those things, and how it combats those issues kind of on that global scale. At least at this point, that's kind of what's intriguing me about the plot. So yeah, that's where we're going to go. So we're going to take a break for this one right here. All that being said, if you like this video, then go ahead and remember to hit that like button. And if you liked it a lot and you want to see the rest of this visual novel or anything else that I may be playing on this channel and you are not currently subscribed, then go ahead and subscribe as well if you are so inclined. But regardless, as always, thanks so much for watching, and we are going to be picking up right here next time.